How are we doing, everyone? Sam here, Flav here. News at, what, 10 past 10? A little bit different on Monday. But Flav's a bit hungover after the weekend. Obviously, after, let's be honest,
not hungover.
Arsenal did smash Spurs, didn't they? They did. We'll talk about that in a bit. We'll run through the back pages. We'll talk a little bit about DT's fan cam. Understandably, he's buzzing after that 2-0 win for Arsenal at the weekend. We'll mute that. It's Monday morning. Let us off, right? We'll run through the back page, as I say. We'll talk about West Ham. It was a 2-0 loss against Watford, but it underlines a bigger problem, I think, at the club. It's not just to do with the manager. It's all about the board. That's who the fans are angry with. But before we get into all of that, let's run through the back pages first of all. And something you'll be happy about. The back pages are all about West Ham and nothing really about Spurs. We'll start.
There was about 12 hours of football between the Spurs game and Monday morning.
All right, so Sunday paper's all about you then?
Probably, I didn't look at them.
Yeah, you did. You cried, just weeped into them.
I don't look at anything. I turn football off if Spurs lose, especially to Arsenal.
Right, so we talk first about the Daily Telegraph. They're saying beaten and booed in baptism of fire. That really sums it up. Moyes with his head in his hands. It was never going to be an easy start for Moyes because Watford away. Let's be honest, Watford are playing very well this season. They're now in 8th position, I think, not too far off even a top 4 spot. It
just shows you how good a manager Silva is and what he's done with Watford is incredible. That was a difficult game for West Ham and Moyes' first game in charge. I don't think you can read too much into Moyes for that fixture, but obviously the common denominator here are the board and the fans are not happy, understandably.
Yep, so we'll run through that fan cam as well from West Ham Fan TV. You can see that later on in the show. We'll go to the back page of the Mirror now as well. And again, it's all about West Ham. It's saying our big players did nothing. They let the club down again. Otherwise, I'm not sure that's a direct quote from Moyes, but that's what the Mirror are running with. West Ham had their opportunities. Not sure if you watched the game, but Gomez made like 3 blinding saves just before half-time. Kouyaté missing a sitter, Arnautovic putting out a massive double save from Gomez. So they did have their opportunities, but ultimately they left them down. And we're talking about, who's that? Sturridge. I don't even recognise Sturridge and ball Sturridge.
Sturridge wants out of Liverpool.
Well, I think it's more a case of Liverpool want rid of Sturridge, surely. Because
well, this article's about him saying, like, I need to get out of here, I want to be fit for the World Cup, I need to play football, and he wants out in January, which is understandable because he's just not getting in the team.
They've paid his wages for what, like 2-3 years? It's a bit like United and Owen Hargreaves.
So what he should just say on the bench and wait? He
should wait for his opportunity, I think. They've got. You're obviously not going to get in that team with the Mohamed Salah looking like a 30-goal season striker. He's got like 14 goals, that guy.
True.
And he's a winger.
Staying with Liverpool, Pep are apparently looking to hijack the Liverpool deal for Van Dijk.
Well, Stones is. I don't know how serious Stones' injury was in that 2-0 win over Leicester, but if you're going to highlight a weakness in a City squad, and you really are clutching at straws to try and highlight a weakness, it probably is at centre-back. So you can understand why they're going to be linked with Van Dijk. Next back page, move to The Guardian. It's all about Will Hughes, all about West Ham, all about Watford. Will Hughes scored only his 2nd Premier League start, a very tidy finish from them. And Watford, let's be honest, were in cruise control for that game, for the majority of the match anyway. And it's there saying Moyes pleads for West Ham unity as fans turn on the board. The fans haven't just turned on the board. The fans have had some real discontent towards Karen Brady and co for some time now. But now that the manager's gone, the manager's not at fault. So
I mean, I don't think he ever was. I think he's in a situation where he couldn't. Everything was fouling around him. For a manager to succeed at any club, you need the unity of
You destroy the fucking club! You destroy the fucking club! You destroy the fucking club!
What The Independent says here, new manager, same result with a dishevelled-looking David Moyes. He always looks dishevelled, even if he's won, he's just got that sort of saggy face. And angry Mustafi rejects the exit talk. Obviously, Mustafi was heavily linked with the move away from Arsenal, which didn't really make much sense considering he was their big centre-back signing, only, what was it, the year before? And he obviously scored a blinder. That was a great header he scored against you. We'll talk about that in a bit.
But what was interesting about his quotes was saying that the papers are reporting on something they could not know about. He said the unity in the dressing room was excellent at Arsenal and there was never any issue and never any chance of him leaving. But if you looked at the papers, you'd believe that he was on his way out. So it's just nonsense.
Are you trying to say, Flav, that papers make some things up?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Have you got any proof of this?
No.
It's a bold assumption, but I think it's pretty factual. Final paper here. This is the Daily Express saying players let me down. With David Moyes doing some sort of tragedy impression. I'm not sure what he's doing, but from your perspective, West Ham losing, was it expected in that? It's a Watford away first game.
Yeah, difficult game. Difficult game. He's only had a couple of weeks to get his ideas across to the players. And the biggest problem is the board have appointed David Moyes. David Moyes doesn't instill any kind of hope, really, does he? I mean, he's got a track record for taking people down. He's only really done decent for Everton, and even that was kind of sporadic success. You know, he was terrible at Man United, terrible at
terrible at Real Sociedad,
Yeah, Real
terrible
Sociedad,
at Sunderland as well, took them down. But a lot of people say, he inherited
still getting
a terrible squad. But
Pizzari's still getting a job.
I don't know. I do hope that West Ham stay up, because I'd rather they stay up than someone like Brighton. But I don't know. Anyway, let's go straight to this video from Nikki from West Ham Fan TV. It was at Vicarage Road last night, and it's clear who West Ham fans are angry with. It's not David Moyes, it's not the players, it is the board themselves. Check this video out.
Mouthy Tottenham fans now. Yeah? You mouthy.
We're back in the room. I'm not sure what's going on here, but as you can see, West Ham fans pretty furious. And as we are live, apparently Tony Pulis has been sacked. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But West Ham, you know, is it just a case of delaying the inevitable, or not delaying the inevitable, but the inevitable West Ham going down this year? Do you see any other way out?
No, I think they're going down.
That's great conversation we're having with Flav.
There's nothing else to say, mate. I've said it. You know, Moyes is not the answer. If you want to instill a kind of unity in the club, you know, he has a track record of being terrible. I'm just saying the same things over again. He's going down, I think.
Right, anyway, let's move on to Tony Pulis quickly before we head to that DT fan cam, which got a little sneak peek from her. So he's been sacked. So right now, West Brom, I think they're 18th or something. Let's have a look. So West Brom are 17th, 1 point off relegation, lost 4 games on the bounce, only 1 point ahead of West Ham, and he's been sacked.
The problem with Pulis is that it's all well and good when the team are playing well, or actually not playing well when they're getting results. You know, when West Brom are sitting mid-table, you know, you can kind of forgive the fact that his football is horrendous. But the minute you start losing, they're always going to turn on him, and that's what's happened. You know, you can't. There's a rot there. He seems to have lost any idea about how to make them play again, and you know, this is probably the right time to react.
I tell you what, right? I was so surprised when I saw this at the weekend. Chris Coleman getting the Sunderland job. I feel after what he's done with that Wales squad, he could have got a much better job than literally scraping the bottom of the Championship with Sunderland.
I mean, they're a massive club. I think he's probably looking at it thinking Sunderland, the only way is up for them, literally. They're at bottom of the league in the Championship. There's only a matter of time before there's finances there that could potentially rebuild that squad. And he might, you know, if he gets them off the bottom into kind of mid-table by the end of the season and gets them up next year, he's going to be seen as yet another amazing performance for him. So I can see the logic there, although it's a massive challenge.
I mean, West Brom job came up like 2 days later. Maybe should have waited, Chris. But any West Brom fans, let us know, who would you want as your next manager coming in? Are you going to be going after Marco Silva as well? It's effectively the same sort of situation as everything. Allardyce, he's available. Oh God, Allardyce at West Brom, that would fit in. That would fit like a glove.
Yeah, I mean, he'd do well. I keep saying it. Allardyce is a good.
We all know that Flav is Allardyce's agent, so if you do want him, just hit flav@ballstreet.co.uk. I'm just giving your email out. I shouldn't have done that.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway, let's talk about Arsenal and Spurs. I'm laughing, you're not.
No,
what happened? What happened?
They were just better. They were better. They wanted it more. They were excellent. I mean, they're a little bit fortuitous. You know, it wasn't a foul for the free kick, and there was an offside as well. But it doesn't matter. Over the 90 minutes, they were much the better team. I can't say anything. I've got to take my medicine. You know, they were better. They were better, and they deserved to win.
I mean, something I want to ask you before we head to that DT fan cam. So Mourinho's got a horrific record away against the top 6 sides. And I didn't realise how bad Pochettino's was. So he's played 17 games away at top 6 sides and only won 1 of those games.
Yeah, it is one of the major problems in Pochettino's
history. Why? What causes that? Is it just the players? Is it the style of play? You play differently away at top 6 teams?
I mean, there's been games when we played away that we've deserved to win and haven't, but I can't tell you. There's a mental block. And maybe it's when Pochettino comes up against proper, you know, tacticians of the game, you know, like the highest level of the manager, and the Premier League has the best managers in the league. He's coming up a little bit short, given the lack of experience and whatnot. And the fact is, look, if you look at it, you know, everybody spends a lot more money on their squad than we do. So there are always going to be holes, but like I say, there's no excuse for how we played on Saturday. Arsenal were better. Wenger got it completely right. They wanted it, and there was a lot of desire there. And it's just bizarre, really, that they've struggled over recent years, because that performance is always in them. As ever, can't wait till Wenger leaves, because I don't think Arsenal fans fully appreciate how good a manager he is. And you know, the way they're talking as if they're going to win the league now. So I mean, it's a bit strange that, you know, they were digging us out for celebrating when we beat them, like we won the league, and as it turns, that's what they were doing as well.
Well, one person who was definitely happy about the win was DT from Arsenal Fan TV. Check out what he had to say after that 2-0 win for Arsenal.
Bastards. Talking about power shift, are you mad? Where's that guy that Troops done the preview with this week? Champagne football. Fuck off. Pop, 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 pop. Know what I mean? That's the real football there. Get back in your swamp and know your place. End of story. We run North London. You might have been better than us, and you might have been doing a few little things better than us recently, but you will never be a bigger club than us, so shut the fuck up.
So, I mean, obviously expressions, you saw the video that he had, we had a Ball Street before the game. He was pretty confident that Spurs were going to win, and although you didn't say it, you were confident that you could at least put a performance in at the Emirates. I think that was a surprising part.
I thought it was going to be a lot better than it was. I thought we were going to be much better than we were. You know, I think that goes without saying. But I think if you looked on the one for the weekend last week, I was predicting that this would be a really difficult game.
Yeah.
You know, when you give a prediction as a Spurs fan, you've got to say, I'm not going to predict that Arsenal are going to beat Spurs, because it's just pointless. So look, you know, if it's a game of football, we lost. It's one game. We'll move on.
We've got a comment here from Lewis Day saying, was at North London Derby this weekend to support Arsenal. Probably the best we've played this season. Also, shout out to Flav for taking it like a champ, unlike many Spurs fans I know.
You got to. Look, the rivalry, a part of the rivalry. I was with a lad on after the game on Saturday, and he was like, his mates were hitting up his phone, like sending him pictures of the derby and whatnot, and he goes, tell me how I can reply to it. Tell me I want to get them back. And I just said to him, this isn't our time to get them back. This is their time to gloat. And it's your time to take your medicine. So, look, I'm going to take any abuse. I'll get, no doubt, a lot of abuse over the week. And it's my role in this stage to take it. And that's just the way it is. And, you know, when we win next time, I'll give it. But now I've got to take my medicine.
Life as a football fan, eh?
That's it, mate.
It swings and roundabouts. It depends whether you want to dish it out when you can gloat, because you know that at some point in the future,
that's
you're going to get it aimed back at you.
This is what Expressions is currently experiencing. You give it so much, then... you know, but it's all good. It's all part of the rivalry. It's part of the reason why we hate each other so much. If Arsenal weren't celebrating, if they were kind of nonplussed and just went about their day, it would feel worse.
There you go, from the horse's mouth, or Flav. Thank you all for joining in today's news at 10 past 10. Tomorrow we'll be here, news at 10, bright and early. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Take it easy.